On this week's episode of Comic Confidential, we celebrate our 1-year birthday, and we also bring back Let's Be Real and ask the question, is the DCEU fucked? Welcome to the super special, action-packed, jammed and cream-filled Comic Confidential birthday special. I'm Cade Moyer.
I'm Troy Spinner.
And I'm Amy Patterson.
And we just turned one, bitches.
Woo!
What? 1 year old today.
Damn.
I've never had such beautiful skin.
As a newborn 1-year-old baby.
Newborn 1-year-old. Imagine birthing a 1-year-old baby. Jesus Christ.
You'd die.
You'd probably die.
Yeah.
Man, what a year.
Yes.
What
been a big year.
It has been. 52 weeks is a year.
55 episodes.
Also 26 fortnights.
26 fortnights, 52 weeks, 55 episodes now, including this one.
Yeah.
3 midweek specials. What do we have? We've reviewed about 15 movies. Mm-hmm. It'd be 17, but don't even get me started. We'll talk about that in the news.
Yeah.
Man. 1 million episodes of TV, I reckon, reviewed.
At least.
Yeah.
At least
a
million.
million hours.
At least 1 million hours, for sure. I haven't been counting, but I feel like I have aged 1 million years in this
Much
past
more
year.
than 1 year.
Yeah, for sure. Man, we've had 2 highly controversial gay guy reads a comic segments from back in the day, episode 1 and 2. I only think one of those still exists. So feel free to go back and check out episode 2 if you want to see what that's all about. And the theme song for that section was written by our good friend Garrett, who is a genius songwriter. Or is he?
Well, it's still debatable, I think.
It's still very debatable.
Maybe we should make that the theme for this week's episode.
Bring it back.
Bring it back. You'd still have it somewhere, wouldn't you?
Oh,
surely.
I'm sure he could do it again.
Somewhere on the dank web.
Yeah. It'll be out there. And look, if we can't do it, for sure, go back. I dare you. I dare you all to go back to episode 2 and check it out. Amy joined in episode 21.
21.
That's a long-ass time ago,
That's a
Amy.
long-ass time.
Yeah, no, I didn't realise.
more than half the show.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So I'm only 6 months old.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's true. You got better. That's why you got better skin.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we probably need to get you on the artwork or something by this stage, considering you've been there for that long.
We are trying.
Yeah.
We're looking for photographers.
We are currently in the process. We're in between photographers.
Scheduling conflicts.
Yeah, we've just had a photographer drop out from talks of being our photographer.
Yeah.
To be fair, I am in talks with another one.
Are you?
I'm just waiting to hear back from her.
Okay.
Excellent. And
She's a listener of the show.
oh, is she?
Ooh.
Okay. Hey, hit us up. We'll give you stuff.
Yeah, like our beautiful faces.
Yeah.
To photograph.
To photograph. You ain't never photographed faces like these before. Can we also have a moment of silence for our one-time former co-host, Dennis, from episode 11?
Okay.
Fuck no.
Moment of silence for Dennis.
No, just kidding, Dennis. We like you, mate.
Yeah, we love you, Dennis. Episode 11.
Was that
Wow.
that was our first
Battle.
Yeah, Marvel vs. DC.
Fuck.
That's how long ago that was.
That was a disaster of an episode.
Well, I think it
had a lot of technological difficulties.
See, you wouldn't know it now because we changed the file. But when that episode, because when that episode first went live, it literally started with Cade saying,
We're fucking recording.
and then there was a whole heap of confusion. I didn't know what I was like, where I was introing, couldn't see the screen. So yeah, it was amazing.
That was episode 11.
You know what?
I'm pretty sure you
true.
guys were still drunk then.
No, I think we stopped drinking. I've never stopped drinking, but I think we stopped drinking like episode 2 or 3.
Okay.
Strangely, after the gay guy reads a
review.
comic was
the
gone.
tequila talking.
Yeah. So anyway,
I know one of our listeners, Shane, would have that episode still because
he was definitely one of the people that got it.
Yeah.
For sure, Shane.
Shane, mate, if you've
Looking
got
at
that,
you.
feel free to upload that somewhere and share a link in the listener community.
Yeah, chuck it in the listener community, man. I'm sure they'd love it. So that's the year. That's the year in review.
Mm-hmm.
And it all kicked off with Deadpool.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Way back.
Way back in the day. We've got,
I remember we're scrambling to get our gear together.
yeah, so we didn't miss the boat.
Yeah, I think our gear was very minimal back then.
Yeah.
I think we had $60 of mics between us
Yeah.
and a $100 mixer or something like that.
But we had belief in ourselves.
We had a dream.
We had a dream. We had Moxie.
You've still got Moxie.
We've still got Moxie. We had a lot of things, didn't we?
We sure did.
Yep.
Had shorter episodes.
We had way shorter episodes. Whatever happened to that? Probably none of this 5-minute rambling.
Yeah, well.
But speaking of Deadpool, we do have a Deadpool-themed giveaway for our special 1-year anniversary.
Yes.
We also have another giveaway, but, we'll get into that. So talk about the Deadpool giveaway, Kate.
Okay, so the Deadpool giveaway is exclusive.
You heard it here first?
Yes, exclusive to members of the listener community.
Yeah, so
So-
if
You go on.
No, you go.
So we'll put a post in there, and all you have to do is comment, like it, and just say, "Hey, motherfuckers, I listened."
Yeah.
Exactly
I
that
heard
phrase. Nothing but that phrase. Hey, motherfuckers, I listened. That's
Yes.
it.
Yes. Hashtag, hey,
Hey,
motherfuckers, I listened.
That's it.
You jump on the Comic Confidential listener community, hashtag, hey, motherfuckers, I listened, and you will go into the draw to win this prize, which is a Deadpool comic.
It's
It's more than that.
It's like the first series.
Yeah. So that's cool. And if you're not in the Comic Confidential listener community, but you're listening, you can jump on and join the listener community and still be in a chance to win that.
That's right.
However, if you're not, we still have a prize for you. So we have a Marvel prize and we have a DC prize. Do we tell them what they are?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
What if they're shit?
I'd still take it. It's free.
It's free. It's free prize. So the Marvel prize is a copy of the Old Man Logan collection as part to celebrate the release of Logan very shortly. So it covers issue 1 to 5, and it's a fantastic, fantastic comic. That's yours if you win. That's the Marvel one. The DC one is a super cool Batman Funko.
To possibly remember the Batman of yesteryear.
Yes.
We'll get onto that.
Yeah, which we'll get into later in the show. So we're not going to go into too much detail about how you can win that. But what we'll do is it's going to be on our Facebook page.
Yes. So jump onto the Facebook page and you'll see how to enter the competition.
Keep an eye out.
So Comic Confidential, in case you forgot who you're listening to. One other thing we need to talk about really quickly before we get into the news is the Castaway Awards, of course.
Jump on there, vote for us. It's probably not going to be pinned anymore because we'll pin the competition.
Yeah, for sure. So you'll probably have to search for it and find it.
No, we'll post it again real quick, but just jump on there, give us a thumbs up.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing, right? This is the people's choice, right? And right now, we are sitting we're teetering on the edge of the top 10. We were just in the top 10. We've just been booted out of the top 10.
What?
Yeah. We're like
No.
number 11.
Unacceptable.
Unacceptable, you guys.
Mutiny.
So what we need to do, we need to get back in the top 10.
Yeah.
If this show finishes in the top 10, I'm not going to go on record to say I'll do anything weird,
No,
but
you
I
won't.
will do
You're
something
going to do
weird.
a nude live stream.
I'm going to do a nude live stream. Nobody will watch it. But what we get,
We'll Skype in so we don't have to watch it.
Yeah, just think for a second. You two guys have to be here as well.
No, let's
but,
not do that.
Man, I'll go crazy. If this show comes in the top 10, I'll be happy with top 10.
We'll have a party.
There's some big podcasts in there.
If we finish in the top 10, we'll do something special for you guys. Maybe we'll
Yeah.
do another giveaway or something. Who knows?
Actually, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah. If we finish in the top 10.
Yeah, so get like and thumbs up and all of that.
Yep. Castaway Awards. You'll see it. We'll repost it on Facebook and Twitter. Jump on there. Click the thumbs up. Register. Bam.
That's all
Done.
it takes. It takes like 5 minutes.
And we're not that far behind the 10th spot. So it's well and truly doable.
Let's talk some news.
Let's talk some news. So, first news story this week. Event Cinemas, Australia's largest cinema chain, has finally announced an Australian release date for the much-anticipated sequel to 2014's sleeper smash hit John Wick. After weeks of waiting with nothing announced, the release date has been put at May the 11th.
Wow.
Let's just think about that for a second. May the 11th, a massive...
Is this the 80s?
Is it? Is it the 80s? A massive 13 weeks after the film's international release. The film's distributor E1 were reportedly waiting to see how the movie fared domestically prior to going completely global, by which we pretty much mean Australia. While not quite as long, this is in line with Village Roadshow's decision to delay the release of the Lego Batman movie until the Australian Easter school holidays on March 30, some 48 days and 42 countries after its US release. A move Village Roadshow self-admittedly regretted doing in 2014 with the Lego movie, which cost them a reported $3 to $5 million in piracy. Guys, what are your thoughts on the lengthy waits for Australian fans for both John Wick Chapter 2 and the Lego Batman movie?
This is why Australia is the capital of the world for online piracy.
That's right.
I know.
People would actually prefer to pay money to go see these movies. I'm telling you because I'm one of those people.
100%, if I had the opportunity, I would be shelling out $20 for both of these movies.
And popcorn at the same time.
Yeah.
Event cinemas, get onto us to go see these movies. We'll give you some good limelight.
Yeah.
We will, but it's the cinemas can't be blamed for this in particular.
No.
This is Village Roadshow and it's E1 and it's their decisions to hold off on those things. But I did some research for this. For once in my life, I actually researched something. Now,
Did you?
Yeah, I did. But when we're talking about John Wick, right, the original, for its international release, we were the third highest grossing nation
How does
behind
that
France
work?
and Germany. So we beat the UK for dollars spent in the cinema to see this, to see the original movie, yet they choose to wait 13 weeks after its release date to bring it here. The Lego movie, right? We were number 2 behind the UK internationally by a long margin, right? And that's with us getting it 10 weeks or whatever after it was already supposed to come. We would have spent
Another $5 million on that.
now maybe that worked for them in line with the school holidays, right? John Wick isn't going to make a difference school holidays wise,
Yeah.
right? Let's be honest. It's an R-rated movie.
Yeah.
That's for us.
We'll go out at midnight and watch that shit.
That's for us old ass
whenever.
people. So
Hey, speak for yourself.
sorry, yeah, that's for me old ass people. But this is a situation, man. Fuck. Do you
Yeah.
want pirates?
The answer is yes.
Is this
real pirates?
Am I stuck in Pirates of the Caribbean? Is this what you want?
It's just bullshit, though. Honestly,
It's ludicrous. That's it's legitimately throwing money away.
and everyone wants to make money. That's the purpose of making these films, and they're just sweeping this money that they could make under the rug.
Yeah.
Here's what's going to happen, E1, and I'm going to tell you this with 100% faith in what I'm about to say. This John Wick 2 will get pirated the fuck out of in Australia.
Yeah.
That is going to happen because this movie is getting rave reviews. They're saying it's absolutely amazing. It's a symphony of carnage was one of the descriptions. We're not going to wait. You know what I mean?
Not at all.
People in Australia aren't going to wait, and you are going to lose money because of this ludicrous decision when we were third internationally with your dollars last time.
Your
and that's a
dollary
movie
dues.
that nobody even knew about, really.
Yeah, it was the first one. It was the breakthrough one or whatever. I cried in that movie.
Oh, because of
honestly.
the dog.
Yes.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
Spoilers. Amy cries over a dog for some reason.
Oh,
you don't even
yeah.
know why.
It's watch it and find out because you can now watch that legally, but you can't watch the new one.
Yeah. Anything else before we move on?
No, I
You
think
guys
we've all
said
just
your
been
piece?
relatively pissed off.
Because that is ridiculous to me. All right, next story. Marvel's highly anticipated Avengers Infinity War went into production on January the 23rd of this year, and Marvel Studios have released a first look teaser video to celebrate. At just over 3.5 minutes long, the video gives us a first look at the Marvel movie, as well as short interviews with stars Robert Downey Jr., Tom Holland, and Chris Pratt, producer Kevin Feige, writers Stephen McFeely and Christopher Marcus, and directors Anthony and Joe Russo. Scheduled for release at the back end of 2018, Infinity War will assemble an absolute plethora of heroes as they get set to take on the Mad Titan himself, Thanos. Guys, thoughts on the first look teaser at Marvel's Avengers Infinity War?
I loved how they did this. They've made it sort of a little behind the scenes insight. And I think that was probably one of the better things that they could do. And I'm now super pumped. Also because it was a lot more personable. You got to see, not only just action, which this film is going to be amazing, but you also saw, Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland and all of that sort of speaking about how excited they are for this movie. And it's got me really pumped. So I was really happy with it. I'm so happy. That's it. That's all I can say.
I'm so happy. You guys. Kate?
I loved it.
See, he can't even speak. You're not me for saying I'm so happy.
No, it was fantastic. And it really, what I'm excited about is like, we never knew that Spider-Man was going to be confirmed for this movie.
Now we do.
And now we do. And it makes me wonder, because he's in space, are we going to see the symbiote attached to him out there?
Nah.
You sure?
Do you think it's too soon for that?
You think
I think it's too soon.
Ooh,
Like when this comes out, we're only going to have one Spider-Man movie.
Yeah.
You can't go from Spider-Man Homecoming to I'm Venom now.
You never know.
I mean, you could.
You could,
but-
like you genuinely could, but I don't think they're going to do it.
I think we might see like a little sneak peek of Venom. You know, like a symbiote.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe like an intro
Yeah.
to what's going to come.
Well, this movie is going to have something like 60 characters
Yeah.
or something in it at any one point. However they decide to do it, whether it's, we spoke about it a couple of weeks ago, from the point of view of Thanos or like from the point of view of everyone else moving towards Thanos.
And can I just tell you why I'm thinking those things? Is because we see a lot of like tracking markers on Spider-Man's wrist.
Yeah.
And there was also Robert Downey Jr. did a Facebook live stream
Oh, yeah, he did.
with him, can't remember the kid's name.
Tom Holland.
Tom Holland, like taping him. And he switches the camera around, his whole face is covered in tracking dots as well.
Yeah, but that's like from Civil War, the spider suit in that was predominantly CGI as well.
Yeah.
So it could just be that.
Maybe it could be, but I thought he had like a real suit and they just kind of tightened it up on him.
I think it might be. Yeah, it might be that. But I think at some points he's wearing a real suit. At some points they have to CGI. Maybe it's
Yeah.
for like the close-up
Maybe,
shots or something
yeah.
like that, just to clean it up a little bit. I'm really excited. I love the concept artwork for Thanos.
Oh,
See the
yeah.
biceps,
Oh,
the
yeah.
pythons,
Jesus.
the pythons on that motherfucker. Man, that was great.
How are they going to beat the...
I feel like
How?
I know the character a lot more because he hasn't got a helmet on.
Yeah,
He's
yeah,
like more laid back now.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah,
oh,
okay,
that dude's
he's your mate.
bald.
Yeah. It blew my mind. I thought he might have had like a crew cut.
Yeah, I thought he had like at least some sort of like what's that side part that everyone, all you kids are wearing these days.
The millennial shaved sides and long on top?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of really good concept art. And the thing that I'm the most excited about, and they do mention it in the thing, is the Guardians of the Galaxy finally meeting the Avengers, which is going to be awesome. And just quickly on that, I just want to mention, because it's something that I read this morning, apparently Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 got a perfect score of 100 in a tester.
Yes. Can I talk to you about that though?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
It was shown to friends and family members of the people at the
So
studio.
of course it's going to get 100.
Okay.
It's a flawed score.
Okay,
But
that's
it's probably right. Let's be honest.
I would believe that it would get very high anyway.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens. Okay, that's fair enough. I read too much into that without actually reading too much into that. But how excited we are about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yep.
How much we loved Guardians of the Galaxy. This teaming up with the Avengers, man, is going to be great. And there's that concept art of Thor with Rocket Raccoon holding Yarnborn, or it seems like he's holding Yarnborn, not his hammer, not Mjolnir.
Yeah.
He's holding his axe, Yarnborn.
Wait, so he's given it to Rocket Raccoon?
No, he's like Thor's holding it, which means
okay.
that
Thor Ragnarok.
there's a potential he could lose his hammer.
Well, actually, I put the artwork up on our Facebook page because there was new concept art from Thor Ragnarok of the Hulk fighting Thor.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Did you also see the little clip that they posted to sort of
Oh, yes.
put out
Him.
Thor and his little team? Who
The
was
brain's a
other guy?
muscle. My body's
That's
covered
right.
in muscles, and therefore I'm smarter than you.
Yeah.
Oh yes. What's his?
Darren?
Bri-
Is it
Brian or Derek? Something
like that?
Yeah.
I
love that.
He was paying rent with gold coins or something.
They're worth $1 gazillion.
Anyway, off track.
That was hilarious.
Anyway.
Just rides off on his bike
I would inside the
in the
house.
house.
I feel like he can get away with anything. He's Thor.
I just want to. I want to talk about something. How big were his biceps?
Oh my god!
Not as big as Thanos's.
Yeah, that's
let's be
true.
honest. But they were huge.
I
That dude is
did not
in
think he was
shape,
that
man.
jacked.
Nah, Chris Hemsworth is jacked, dude.
He is the ultimate dreamboat. I've spoke a lot about dreamboats on this show, and he is the ultimate dreamboat.
I would agree with you if I didn't have a thing for Chris Pratt.
He's a funny man.
Let's be honest. But anyway, let's move on. No, but
We're all got daydream eyes in here.
but that man, Chris Hemsworth is by far the biggest dude on set.
Yep.
There is
Easy.
no one even close to that guy. Not even Chris Evans. Chris Evans, I think, self-admittedly says he looks small. next to Chris Hemsworth.
And then you see normal plebs standing next
Like
to them.
Mark Ruffalo.
Tony
You leave
Stark.
Mark alone.
Yeah. Anyway, we're all obviously very excited for this, and it comes out late 2018. So
far
man,
away.
2018. You think 2017 is going to be good?
Oh,
2018.
That's the year.
It's Black Panther is 2018. There's some other stuff that's 2018. Aquaman is 2018. 2018 is going to be a killer year.
I hope I don't actually die from the excitement.
That's going to be my biggest regret is dying before I see these movies.
Yeah. I just need to live till 2021 because I don't know what's happening in 2021. I know what's happening up to 2020, and I need to live until then. Lord Jesus, help me.
If you're listening, hear my prayers.
Okay, so next story. Earlier this week, a story from The Hollywood Reporter surfaced stating that Warner Brothers were in talks with Mel Gibson to direct a sequel to 2016's uber-divisive Suicide Squad. Hours later, at a screening for his Oscar-nominated film Hacksaw Ridge, Gibson confirmed the story, saying he was in talks with Warner Brothers, but at this point it was more like a first date than anything serious. Another report from Variety says Warner Brothers are also looking at Ruben Fleischer, who directed Zombieland, Daniel Espinosa, who directed Safe House, and Jonathan Levine, who directed Warm Bodies. Guys, what are your thoughts on Mel Gibson, director of such movies as Braveheart, The Passion of the Christ, and the aforementioned Hacksaw Ridge, potentially helming the Suicide Squad sequel? Or if not him, what about any of the other three potentials?
I'm excited for that, actually. He's a good director.
Yeah.
Terrible human being, but fantastic director. I'm also really excited about, who was it? Ruben Fleischer?
Fleischer.
For Zombieland, because that is a very fitting tone to what the Suicide Squad could be.
Yeah, definitely. I would probably prefer that guy. Look, Mel Gibson is a fantastic director. I would be concerned as to how he would get Jesus into this movie.
Yeah. So he would definitely push a propaganda
They'd
into
be
this
in a
movie.
church and nothing would be allowed to be broken.
There'd be something. You know,
Yeah.
he's going to push that agenda because that seems to be what he does. Although, from all reports, and I haven't seen it yet, it is on my list of things to watch. Hacksaw Ridge is quite brilliant.
Yeah, right.
As is Braveheart, you know, for what it is from back in its day. Passion of the Christ in itself is a well-shot movie.
Can I say, like, I don't think there's been a movie that he's been in or been a part of that I haven't enjoyed.
Yeah.
There'd be some.
No.
If you actually dug deep, there'd be some for sure. They're not all great.
No, they're fantastic.
Look, as an actor, the guy is charismatic as fuck.
Oh, yeah.
Right? You can't deny his on-screen charisma. As a human being, he's a terrible, terrible person that you'd probably just want to slap in the face.
Yeah.
As a director, though, the guy has a great eye.
Yeah.
He can make some very, very good-looking movies, man, and he can tell a story. Whether you need to tell a story in Suicide Squad or not, who knows?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I would prefer to see someone like, I can't remember their names and my notes have turned off, but whoever's directed Zombieland and Warm Bodies, because both of those...
Jonathan Levine was Warm Bodies.
Yep. So it's a similar feel, like Cade was saying, to Suicide Squad. Like, you know, there's a darker element, but there's also humour and all that kind of stuff. I don't know how
Romantic zomcom.
Yeah, I loved that movie. Both of those movies.
Yeah.
I don't know how Mel Gibson would go. Would he try and make Suicide Squad something that's not? Like, get that agenda, not the agenda that you're talking about, but like to continue his, you know, deep and meaningful films.
Yeah, it's hard to say. The thing I like about Mel Gibson, though, is the fact that it's Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
And Mel Gibson probably won't take shit from Warner Brothers.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
He'll stand his ground.
You know, he's going to go, hey, do you actually know who I'm talking about? Then he's going to throw something at them. He's going to pour coffee in their face, and they're going to go, all right, Mel. Sorry,
just
dude.
calm down, mate.
Just make
That's
your movie.
true.
Let me say this. Lethal Weapon, Suicide Squad.
What a combination.
Well, then get Shane Black to do it, because Shane Black directed Lethal Weapon. That wasn't Mel Gibson's vision. That was Mel
I know
Gibson's
that.
charisma.
But he can just... He could take that and just do that.
Mel, if you're listening.
Actually, Shane Black didn't direct it. That's a mistake. But he wrote it.
Okay.
Yeah. But you know, why not? I will take like a Mel Gibson directed movie over anything done by, say, Josh Trank, who did Fantastic Four or something like that. You know,
How is he still in the business?
Well, if you have the opportunity to get someone who, and let's not forget that Mel Gibson was a fairly outspoken critic on superhero movies, especially Batman vs Superman. Thought it was a big pile of shit. all that sort of stuff. So fuck you, Mel Gibson, for that. But
it's added to the list.
Added to the list. But if he is interested, right, then he must actually want to do something with this. Otherwise, he wouldn't even start talks.
So
either that, or there's a truckload of money, and they're just like, Mel, you want this money?
He's like, oh, yes,
I'll take some money. Who knows?
Yeah.
Meh.
Well,
I'm excited. Why not?
Yeah.
I would probably rather see somebody like
I want big names like that attached to the DC universe. Give it some credit.
Yeah. That's why people are calling for like a Ridley Scott Batman.
Ooh. Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like,
there'll be lens flares everywhere.
Oh.
Anyway.
That's where J.J. Abrams got his inspiration for lens flares.
Fucking oath.
Let's move on. A new synopsis for November's highly anticipated Justice League film has surfaced online. The synopsis comes from an Asian film magazine, which also included descriptions of a number of movies coming out this year. The synopsis reads, in the wake of Clark Kent Superman's death at the hands of Doomsday in Batman vs. Superman, vigilante Bruce Wayne, Batman, reevaluates his extreme methods and begins reaching out to extraordinary heroes to assemble a team of crime fighters to defend Earth from all kinds of threats. Together with Diana Prince, Wonder Woman, Batman seeks out cybernetically enhanced former college football star Vic Stone, Cyborg, speedster Barry Allen, The Flash, and Atlantean warrior King Arthur Curry, Aquaman. They face off against Steppenwolf, the herald and second-in-command to alien warlord Darkseid, who is charged by Darkseid with hunting down 3 artifacts hidden on Earth. Guys, while this has not been confirmed by Warner Brothers as official, what are your thoughts on the possible Justice League synopsis? Any surprises?
No, you go first.
No, in short.
Yeah.
I mean, where else were they going to go with it, I guess?
Yeah.
Is my question. It's good that they've released something out. I mean, when's that movie meant to come out?
November.
This year?
Oh, Justice League? Yeah, November this year.
Yeah, okay. So it's good that I think it must just be something by them to keep the ball rolling. Not that Justice League needs that, because everyone loves that shit, but it's good to finally have a synopsis and something. Well, not that it's confirmed like you said, but...
Well, with that as well, Zack Snyder released another still image
of Batman
punching on with some parademons in a warehouse, which looks pretty spectacular for what you can see. Yeah. Like, it's kind of like blurry-ish footage, but man,
it's just on an iPhone.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, it probably is. It's like someone's taken a photo on their iPhone of the screen.
Ah.
Yeah, but it looks cool. It looks cool as shit. But as far as the synopsis goes,
I think someone just watched the trailer and wrote that. Honestly.
And that's the problem with this. Like, yes, we want to report on it because, it is Justice League and, we're excited for the movie and we want to talk about these sorts of things. But it isn't confirmed. And it does just sound like something that, yes, you could very much have already well and truly pieced together.
Yeah.
At no point is there anything in there that's super surprising. Is there?
No.
So we'll move on.
Let's.
All right. So Kevin Smith this week announced he is currently working on a brand new Jay and Silent Bob movie, which will act as a follow-up to 2001's Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, entitled Jay and Silent Bob Reboot. While Smith has been working on Clerks 3 and Mallrats 2, both of those projects have been unable to get off the ground for varying reasons. Smith took to Facebook to announce the new movie, saying, "So all last month I had the time of my life laughing while writing Jay and Silent Bob Reboot, a fun flick in which the Jersey Boys have to go back to Hollywood to stop a brand new reboot of the old Blunt Man and Chronic movie they hated so much. It's a tongue-in-cheek, silly-ass satire that pokes fun at the movie business's recent redo obsession, featuring an all-star cast of cameos and familiar faces. And I already met with the good folks at Miramax and they're into it, so I'm hoping we'll begin shooting in the summer." Guys, what are your thoughts on a potential new Jay and Silent Bob movie?
It's Kevin Smith.
Yeah?
90% chance it could not happen.
I would disagree. Because I would disagree in the sense that he has already shipped this to Miramax.
Yeah.
And Miramax have said, yeah, let's do it.
I mean, yeah, it's cool. I mean, it's not going to make any money.
Jay and Silent Bob is like one of the theme tunes to my youth.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it is. It's
a cult following type of thing.
Yeah, but it's probably built a much bigger following over the last few years because the thing with this is, Kevin Smith is very big on Twitter. So he's constantly sort of out there. He's got a mass following on Twitter. So something like 3.5 or 4 million people that follow him just on Twitter. So you take that, right, and you add this fan favorite sort of duo, right? And you might have the recipe for success because this is still something that they test on the road all the time with Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, which is a show that you and I went to see ourselves. So they're still out there. They're still performing the material. Like the characters are still fresh in people's minds because those shows sell out all the time.
Yeah.
So I think it has the recipe for success.
He does choose smaller arenas.
Yeah, but they do multiple shows. Like they're doing shows all the time, and he's selling out pretty much every arena that he goes to. So you take into account the fact that people love these two characters. You take into account that the fact that they're still fresh in people's minds thanks to the podcast that he has and the live shows that he does in line with that. Add that in with his 4 million Twitter followers, and you have a potential recipe for success.
Oh, absolutely. Like, it'll have marginal success. There's no doubt about that. It'll be one of these things that I'm not excited about. I'll be like, oh, cool, I'll go see that. Like, oh, look, that's out.
I think if we're going to get a Kevin Smith movie, why not get a Jay and Silent Bob movie?
Oh, yeah. Don't give him anything else.
Well, look, I would have been excited for a Mallrats too. 100%.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Kevin Smith just sticking to his realm.
Yeah.
All four.
Yeah. That couldn't get off the ground because studios wouldn't pick that up. So they pitched it as a series. No studios had picked that up. So it's just something that just nobody wanted to do, unfortunately. Clerks 3 is a different story. Clerks 3 didn't happen because they couldn't get one of the key people back on board. So, that kind of fell by the wayside because you can't do Clerks
without the cast.
Without a Dante and a Randall. They're the two main people. And if one of those, which I think, it's not confirmed or anything like that, but I think it was the guy who played Randall, is the one that kind of said, nah, look, I don't really want to do it anymore. It's kind of hard to do that movie if you don't have those two people.
Yeah.
So, they were two projects I was excited about, but Jay and Silent Bob Strikes Back was funny, man.
Oh, yeah, it was great.
And one thing that he does do well is poke fun at the industry.
Yeah.
And he does have the ability to get a whole bunch of like cameos and stuff like that, which do help to make a movie. If you can get Mark Hamill back as Cockknocker,
oh damn,
that'd be pretty.
This is what I mean,
sweet.
though. Like it is such a cult following. Like we're talking about. You say the name of a character and everyone's like, "Damn, I remember him."
Yeah, exactly. And people still love. Like there are young ass people out there that still love Jay and Silent Bob.
My sister's seen it. She just turned 18.
Yeah,
and she loves that film.
Yeah, awesome.
So there you go. He can still hit that millennial mark. So I'm all for it.
That's going to take us to the weekly wrap, the segment where we're going to wrap up all the TV shows that we watch.
We're gonna do that.
We're gonna do that. Do it.
Yeah.
Do it slow.
Do it.
And do it sexy.
All right, True Lies, let's go.
The Walking Dead, rocking the road. Rick and the gang try to rustle up some help from the hilltop for their upcoming battle against the Saviors. But Dickhead Gregory says no because he's a fucking dickhead. Jesus takes Rick to the kingdom for an audience with Ezekiel. Man, what a character. But will the king be any more willing to help?
Probably not.
The answer? No.
The answer might surprise you, but it probably won't.
No, he doesn't. Not yet.
Spoilers.
No, I'm not going to tell you a major spoiler about him.
No, don't do that.
I'll do it after the show.
Okay. So do you want my top moment?
Yeah.
Yeah. So very hard to go past the scene with Rick and Michonne and the two cars and the cable. So when they're coming back from the kingdom and they're sort of near the Savior's compound, the sanctuary.
Yeah.
And they're under all types of shit somehow, because I don't know how fucking long are they working on this thing that zombies from right down the road can actually catch up to them. But they get to a point where we get one of the best mass on-screen zombie killings you've seen in some time.
It was cool.
It was cool as shit. Two cars driving straight down the road. Bam. Just knocking heads off, cutting zombies in half, just guts everywhere. I loved it. Loved it.
I don't know if that would actually happen like that. I'm sure the bumpers would get ripped right off.
Well, I think no, because these are gooey, fleshy sort of messes. It's highly likely that could happen, but it's just also very convenient that they have two completely clear paths of road, and then all these zombies have kind of gone off the road. And now they're kind of walking in the grassy bit in the middle.
Yeah,
that it's all very convenient, but it made for a very, very good looking.
How did Rick not get bitten?
Tasty scene.
Oh,
I said that.
He would absolutely got bitten there.
I said that as soon as it happened, I turned to my partner and I said, if that was any other fucking character,
It would have been better.
they'd be dead.
I said that. I didn't even know this shit. And I was like, that guy, how's he not dead? And the girl too, whatever her name is.
Yep.
That's pushing your fucking luck.
It's not pushing your luck. It's pushing the realms of believability.
I swear there was like
TV
zombies
show.
like whispering in his ear.
Yeah, I think one licked his face.
Yeah.
Like that seedy sloth on Facebook. That was that scene. That's what happened. That's what was happening.
It was just whispering sweet nothings into his ear. Amy.
So I watched it this week.
This is very exciting. This is a 1-year birthday spectacular only
One
thing.
and done.
Yeah, probably, to be honest.
Yeah.
No, I like that scene too. That was my top moment. So you've stolen that.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
You should have gone first.
Yeah, probably should. I didn't know who anyone was.
Yeah.
As this started, I slowly developed an understanding, and then I was asking myself questions, and I wrote down all of my thoughts as I was reading it because I think that would make something funny to look at later on when I look back, maybe on our 2-year anniversary. Yes.
I was just going to say we're going to post that.
Oh,
by the way.
Yeah.
So,
I'll make it less sweary.
No,
We'll bold it and capitalize it.
Well, I don't want to pick a top moment that was bad because there were a few that I noticed. I'd like to pick something that was...
Hey, top moments can be bad.
Yeah, but I've never seen the show before. I'm going to go with The Kingdom.
Yep.
What the fuck?
Yeah, fair enough.
What is that? I felt like I was watching a high school play. There was a page boy with a stick who bounced it on the ground to announce it. What is this?
You know what, Amy? That's probably the most accurate representation of what you just saw.
Yeah.
Because he is faking.
Oh.
Yeah. So he's not actually that overly dramatic.
He used to do community theatre. Oh. So you've like nailed it.
Yeah.
Right. Well, he's very convincing.
Yeah.
Well, it's a performance to kind of give the people something to live for or to be led by, I guess. Yeah. Can I just say quickly on that? How shit must Rick feel when he goes to all these other compounds and they are fucking thriving?
Oh, yeah.
And his is just an absolute mess and has always been an absolute mess. There are compounds fucking everywhere that have trees and shit. Well, not trees, but like they've got like they're growing shit.
Yeah.
They've got crops, and Rick's fucking spent all his time basically assembling an arsenal rather than kind of trying to build a community.
Yeah.
The only other thing I noticed, and it's probably been said, it's probably an overall... How many seasons are we in?
7.
Yeah, okay. So it's definitely probably come up before. Why are the people killing each other and not the zombies?
Because you fear the living more than the dead.
No.
Yeah.
Which is kind of like the premise of... It's all about humanity.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
It's the underlying theme of The Walking Dead.
Yeah,
Well.
it's the most realistic look at the probable eventual downfall of humanity
Yeah.
that you would likely see, and the eventual savior of it, I would say.
Yeah.
But, we're not going to get deep on this shit. Cade, what's your top moment?
My top moment is... Who made Gabriel take all the shit?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to leave it for my top moment thing, for my writing.
That was a great scene, like at the start, man.
Did you see who popped... There's someone popped up in that other seat.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
That was brilliant. Just driving away and all of a sudden this person just pops up. You're like, holy shit. What was that?
Ooh.
I'm thinking some like Jason Friday the 13th
Yeah.
type stuff. But yeah,
So
it's
is
interesting.
That guy, is he good? Is he not good?
Gabriel, he's a bit on the fence. Like, he is a good guy. He's just a fucking fuck.
Okay.
He's just a fuck.
I got that vibe.
Yeah. I mean, he's trying to redeem himself.
Yeah.
And something's happened here. I don't think he's doing a bad thing. I think he's just going in a
didn't
bad
the book
situation.
say boat or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So
don't know. I was so lost at this point.
Yeah. So
Boat?
Boat. I'm like, and then it went through my head like it was stupid. I'm like, how do they even have water anymore? Like, I'm like, I was so caught up in this shithole of a world. I was like, surely.
Obviously,
don't have
you've never
boats.
seen Fear the Walking Dead, where they spend half a season on the water.
No.
Anyway, rate it or hate it.
I'm going to rate it.
Yep.
Tickled my fancy.
Nice.
I'm going to rate it
Oh.
because I can't hate it. I'm sure there's episodes that'll hate,
Yeah.
but I didn't hate all of... There was some dumb things, and I think that's probably because I have never seen an episode before.
Yeah.
But it was all right. It was fine.
I'm gonna rate it, but it was a bit of a letdown for a mid-season comeback, in my opinion.
Oh, I forgot it was a mid-season comeback.
So you're not coming back to anything.
Yeah.
Really
Nothing
exciting.
happened.
Yeah, so that was disappointing. Let's move on to something.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. The man behind the shield. Mace's life hangs in the balance as the Russians play a deadly game of cat and mouse with Coulson and S.H.I.E.L.D. Meanwhile, Ada has her own plans, which sees new LMDs put into play. My top moment?
Yep.
Fucking everyone's an LMD.
Damn it! Stealing all my top moments.
Everyone's a fucking LMD.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except, what are they? Fitzsimmons.
Fitz and Simmons.
Yeah.
Or are they?
Exactly.
Yeah.
You don't know. Interesting that I read, though, that I think this week is actually, it actually wraps up the LMD storyline.
What?
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Chloe Bennett said on Instagram or somewhere, she said that, next week it's written and directed by Jed Whedon, so that's great. That's fantastic. But yeah, it wraps up the LMD storyline already.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good,
Wow.
because it's kind of like, I feel like it's almost reached its purpose. Like, okay, LMDs are all in S.H.I.E.L.D. now.
Yeah, they're faltering for sure.
Yeah. Because you have to think, there's more in S.H.I.E.L.D. than just those guys.
Yeah.
You've got normal operatives in there.
But they're the head.
Yeah.
They're the head of S.H.I.E.L.D.
I'm sure there's other teams in there that do
No.
just as important things as
No.
they do. Because S.H.I.E.L.D.'s pretty big.
There's the accounting team that
Yeah.
keeps the books balanced, that sort of thing. There's
Yeah.
the human resources team would be fairly heavily involved with some of the
I
shit
want to
these
know
guys
what
get
happens
into.
with the other guys.
Yeah,
Because there's more the S.H.I.E.L.D. than this team of 5.
let's get the point of view from what was that guy's name? So Fitz is like, Simmons is like, I'm gonna take
What's his face?
Joe. And he's like, that doesn't make it that much better. And Joe's just like,
thanks.
Thanks. Yeah.
Like that type of shit I love. Let's see it from the point of view of Joe. Let's have
Exactly.
an episode like that.
Because Joe's like, you're a fuckhead, mate. I've killed 18 Inhumans, captured 20 others.
I was
Do you
the
even
first in
fuck-
my battalion.
Yeah. Do you even know my story, bro? Do you want to see my story? Here it is.
Yeah.
That'd be good. Let's do that. Let's get that happening somehow. Fuck the Ghost Rider. Fuck these LMDs.
Yeah.
Let's get Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Joe.
Yes.
Not even GI, just
Yeah,
Joe.
just Joe.
But I want Joe to mean something.
Yeah,
It's an acronym. Like J.O.
Yeah. Just overly enthused
Yeah.
because he's
He's
about his
part
job.
of the team.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, cool. Amy, top moment.
Well, other than that, probably the flashbacks to May and Coulson.
Oh, how shit was her wig?
She should have just had no hair.
I know it's probably set, I'm presuming in the 80s.
I don't know.
80s, early 90s.
But fuck, that
They
was
were
a terrible
such
wig.
different. It was so different, a different feel.
Yeah.
Oh, it was refreshing. So I
And
like that.
I don't judge anyone's body shape. But look at me. But did she look bigger?
Maybe I didn't notice.
It could have been because the angle of the shots were always from down
Maybe.
low.
What are you saying? She's pregnant?
Well, she can't be because she's in her mid 50s.
Oh,
But can we take
She
a
looks
second
good
to
for
appreciate how
mid-50s.
good she looks for being in her mid-50s?
Jesus
She's
Christ, she's-
on point, man.
I
thought-
remember watching her on TV when I was a kid, and it's like, hey, who's that hot chick on TV? And she's still here.
still
She
that
is
hot chick.
fucking
Yeah.
man,
holy
it's crazy.
crap! I cannot
She's the
believe
hottest
that.
chick in that show.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's tough.
I think what's her face? Is it which one's Simmons and which one's Fitz?
Simmons is the girl.
Okay,
Yeah, Fitz is
she's-
the one that looks like a dude.
Well, I don't know. They always say their names together.
Yeah.
She's pretty hot.
Yeah. I guess everyone's pretty hot in that show.
Yeah, true.
Max the hottest, though.
Max the hottest, Coulson's second,
Yeah.
and then probably May third.
Mace has to
Actually,
be up there.
How jacked is the director?
Yeah.
Yeah,
How
that
old
dude-
is he?
Yeah.
Hey, hello.
Old enough to party.
Yeah, that dude is jacked.
Yeah.
I
He ain't- he can't do shit.
I think it's airbrushing jacked.
Yeah, maybe he's got no powers.
Yeah.
So he's just a dude. So jacked means
good
nothing
punching bag.
unless you're Mac.
Yeah.
That's the only time jacked matters.
Yeah.
Is if you're Mac.
Your
did,
top moment.
Did I have a top moment?
No.
You guys have both touched on what I would have called top moments. The one that disappointed me though is the Superior storyline, the Russian guy, the Anton
yeah.
Ivanov, I
Yeah.
think his name is. That whole thing this is technically the guy, and I know his story isn't completely finished yet, right? But this is the guy that effectively they have just said is behind the Watchdogs. He's like funded the Watchdogs. He funded Senator Nadir. He did this. The whole thing that not only this season has been based around, but previous seasons have been based around. And it's kind of like, well, that's done now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know.
But he was alive, wasn't he?
He's still alive, barely, and he'll probably just be made into an LMD, and he'll come back, and then he'll be kind of indestructible, and harder to deal with. But it's kind of like, this is the guy, and like they finally meet, and he just gets his ass kicked. I know he went against Daisy, which is a bit tough.
Something just came to mind though. If they're all LMDs, how Daisy won't be able to? She won't use powers or anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, she won't be able to from this point on.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just something.
Maybe that's how they find, no, because they already know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting they made all 4 of them LMDs. Anyway. Rate it or hate it?
Rate it.
Rate it.
Awesome. Let's move on to Supergirl. Episode titled Luthers.
Troy's ready.
Lena Luthor seems to have turned to the dark side after she is implicated in the breakout of her incarcerated mother, Lillian. Welcome to Cadmus.
She should do that. Welcome to Cadmus.
Yeah. Kara believes she's innocent, but in order to prove she's right, she must first go through Cyborg, Superman, Metallo, and the unstoppable Metallo. My God. Why is Metallo in a normal jail?
I don't know.
Well, okay. Wasn't powered by kryptonite.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know. If you're in a situation where you have a potentially superpowered villain, all they need is to be visited one time with some kryptonite.
Yeah.
You'd probably just put him very, very well locked away somewhere else in a cell that's hard to get to.
But it's Supergirl.
Yeah.
So.
But it's Supergirl.
I got my top moment, and it's fucking clear as day.
Yep.
And if it's not all of yours, I'll be very fucking surprised.
Go on.
Lex's war suit has been shown.
Yes.
And I actually let out an audible gasp. I was like,
So did I.
and my partner was like, what? Oh my fucking God.
And it was
She's
so
like, what?
I
downplayed.
know.
Whether that comes back later on, I don't think it will, but I think it was just a nod to the fans to see something like that. That it was cool, and it's almost cool to the point that you can forgive.
Oh, I forgave the whole fucking episode. The episode was shit. I did not rate it at all.
Yeah.
I saw that war suit. I forgave everything.
Yeah.
My rose-colored glasses came on, and I was swooning.
Well, we actually got to see Lex in the show as well, just as a kid, but
Got to see Lionel.
Got to see Lionel.
I'm very disappointed they didn't use Lionel from Smallville.
Yeah.
Because that would have been the best throwback.
No, I like the way they made this Lionel a representation of what Lex
should be.
becomes. How he molds his look and stuff like that.
Disappointed Lex did not have red hair.
But wasn't a little ginger.
Yep.
But yeah, Amy?
Yeah, well, that was definitely my top moment. The episode itself just sort of, it did nothing. The Lena Luthor storyline, I was just like, come the fuck on.
Yeah.
Seriously, this woman has ruined your life and now you want to be a happy family?
Yeah. It's kind of a bit, how?
Yeah, and why?
At what point do you just not go, you know what? Fuck you, Mom.
Yeah.
You have been the biggest bitch to me my entire life. I'm a fully grown adult. You got yourself into this. GTFO.
Yep, exactly. What about you?
Well, for me, it was actually finally, Lex's war suit, amazing. That's great. We got to see little Lex. That's cool. My top moment is that they finally gave us a situation where week in and week out, Kara gets her ass kicked. This is the first fucking time the Martian Manhunter has actually shown up to help her out of a situation. It's kind of like, oh, hey, remember you have this other super powered friend?
I was so excited, so shocked.
My only question is, if you are dealing with a being that is basically shooting beams of kryptonite...
Go send the Martian Manhunter.
Why the fuck aren't you sending the Martian Manhunter? I understand the show is called Supergirl, but that's just ridiculous. You have this character and you're basically making him stay there going, you know what? she's got this. I know I could got this way more easy, but she's got this. And
I'm
he
going to
does.
let her shine.
He gets there and he kicks the shit out of friggin' Metallo pretty much straight away.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just frustrating that, like, it's good to see that they finally actually reference the fact that he can, A, get there super fucking quick and is strong enough well and truly to save her. But, like, I'm not saying it should be their go-to move every time, but why not use him more?
Yeah.
And then maybe Supergirl has to come in to save him for a reason or something like that, But
send him on separate missions.
It makes no sense that the DEO would send her into that mission.
Yeah, I know. Rated. Oh, you got one more thing?
I just got one more thing.
I know what it is.
Well, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it next week because that's what the show is based around. Pretty disappointed. We got the introduction of Mr. Mixius Pitalik, whatever you want to call him.
Mr. M.
Mr. M. And they've just made him some handsome dude. I know Smallville did the same thing, but that was a very, very brief thing. But they're going to base this whole thing around this dude.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping he's just cloaking himself to make himself look handsome to Kara.
Yeah. He should like a little fucking old man.
Yeah, old imp-looking thing.
We'll see.
Rate it or hate it?
Hate it.
Lex's warsuit, man.
It's not it didn't redeem it enough.
No, it didn't. It didn't redeem it enough. Hate it.
I hate it, but I rate that suit.
I think that's what all of us are saying. Yep.
So, in saying that, The Flash is on break, and so is Legends of Tomorrow.
Yeah, all back next week, though. And the Flash episode looks like it's going to be fucking amazing.
Double episode. It'll be a 2-week episode.
Yep.
Gorilla City.
Gorilla City.
In the city.
Take me down to Gorilla City.
City with the rod is big and the girls are pretty.
Are the girls pretty in Gorilla City? You really think? I think.
Anyway.
Well, I'm sure they only take the pretty girls to Gorilla City.
Well, that's true.
Anyway, let's move on to Arrow, Spectre of the Gun, a gunman on a rampage in City Hall, bringing members of Team Arrow to a head as they debate both sides of the gun safety argument. God, I wonder if this is pushing an agenda.
Yeah.
Oliver has to make a stand as mayor, not the Green Arrow, and we see the origin of Wild Dog.
I think it's not pushing an agenda because I think it tried to toe the line right down the middle.
Yeah.
So it didn't ever get too preachy for either side of the argument. And it was, in fact, like Oliver had to make like something happen that suited both people. So they're kind of like, I appreciate the fact that they're trying to start a discussion. I don't think they did it that well. I think the fact that it took them so long to finally get Oliver Queen involved in some actual politics is a bit mental.
Yeah, I know, that's crazy. And I mean, it was good to see him win a battle as the mayor and not Green Arrow.
Yeah.
I mean, he became the mayor for a reason. This is the first time we've seen him mayor it up.
Exactly.
I mean, not that mayors have to go stop gun-wielding maniacs.
That's not your job, dude.
That's not your job. Like, you've gone the extra mile.
Yeah.
But, I mean...
Just pushing for re-election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's coming up. But, yeah, I mean, I guess it's good, but also disappointing that this is the first time we've seen him do some real mayoring.
Yeah. Because that's a big part of the character in the comics. Like
Absolutely.
it is a really big part. He kind of doesn't really toe the line, though. He has his thoughts and he kind of projects them as mayor. It's kind of very much like, this is what I believe. This is what we're doing. This is the right thing to do. Whereas this, he's kind of very much in the middle. But I appreciated the fact that they're trying to start a conversation about something political without ever trying to push one agenda over the other.
Yeah.
So they're kind of really trying to toe that line and let everybody have a say, which I appreciate. A top moment for me. There you go.
Amy?
I liked the Wild Dog origin story.
Really?
Fun fact, his wife was in the OC.
Yes, she was.
She was Anna.
There you go.
Yeah. But I like that. Though, one thing that struck me as odd is how is Wild Dog Renee old enough to have a grown-ass daughter? Like, he does not look old enough.
Well, he probably, in all fairness, he probably had her very young.
True. It was just odd because she was nearly as tall as him.
Well, she looked like she'd
Actually,
be...
that's a good point.
Yeah.
Well, she looked like she'd be 8 or 9 quite comfortably.
Yeah.
So that would mean that he would have to be, mid
20s.
to late 20s. Which is possible.
Yeah, I
it's
guess,
possible.
that's true.
He served in the military.
Yeah.
All that sort of stuff.
All right. Well,
Maybe.
maybe it's not such a pressing issue, but I liked seeing that origin story because it's sort of been building up to that for the last couple of episodes. Like we've been seeing little bits and pieces of him, and obviously he weighed in quite heavily on the gun situation. So
Interesting to note that all that stuff only happened like months ago. To him.
When the battle of whatever happened.
Battle for Star City.
That's the one. That's it.
So I think he's a big liability still.
Well and truly. I think it's I appreciated the story. I think the guy acts better like as the modern day version. Like this he kind of didn't change his persona enough for them to really be a difference. Like it didn't seem like now he's as torn as he was before his wife died and his kid got taken off him. Because he still seemed to be like the exact same guy. Still had the big scar on his face, which we were kind of hoping might have been something that happened while he was being a vigilante, something like that. So it's kind of they didn't really do a good enough job of separating the two.
Yeah, that's true.
But I did appreciate seeing his backstory for sure.
Rate it or hate it?
Well, you haven't done your top moment.
Pretty sure I did.
The guns.
Really?
Yeah. Oliver winning.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I suppose. You didn't say it was a top moment. we were just like having a conversation.
Well, that was it, mate. Do you rate it or do you hate it?
This would be one of those episodes that I'd put right in the middle if there was a middle. I will go rate it. But I think they've, I don't know.
Amy?
I'm on the same sort of wavelength. I'll rate it, but it's a lower end.
I'm going to hate it because it didn't do anything to the narrative.
Oh, good
Yeah,
one.
but that's, it had its own agenda. The story, it had to be in there somewhere. They have to start being political because he is the mayor.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah. Thea was back.
Oh, yeah.
And then she was gone.
I liked
like
her.
that.
I liked her back intro theme. She's like, I should have never gone away.
Yeah. I'm just vomiting in my mouth right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so this week we are bringing back Let's Be Real, and we said we weren't going to touch on this, but there's just been too much drama out there in the internet world that we can't possibly not talk about it. So what we're going to talk about today is we are going to talk about the drama within the DCU, and basically is the DC extended universe or entertainment universe?
Extended. The DCEU, just call it
The
that.
DCEU,
That's a tongue twister.
is it fucked? Question mark.
Apostrophe. Now, this is something that we've been
Exclamation
fighting.
mark? Yeah. I don't know grammar.
Now, look, this has been something that we've been talking about, supporting. The DCU isn't fucked; it's going to be fine. But now we're actually just going to throw it out there and just freeball the idea that maybe it is.
Yeah, I don't think so.
No,
I'm still a firm believer that it's not at all. I think. How honest are we being?
100%.
We're going to be 100% honest.
101%.
Do you know what the problem is?
What?
The problem is us, the fans.
That's normally the answer to it.
Yeah, the problem is us. It's us, the fans. It's us that are digging for these stories, that are looking for problems. So when you have two. Actually, we'll say you have three kind of opposing factors at the moment. You have what people would call the Marvel fanboys who are salivating, waiting for these stories to happen.
Yep.
So they can lord it over everybody else and go, haha, our movies are great, yours are shit, yours have got problems and all that sort of stuff. Then you've got the DC, what you'd call the DC fanboys, who are desperately, almost aggressively trying to prove their point that, nothing is wrong and, all that sort of stuff. And then you've got, the middle ground, which I would like to call us, who kind of, you like all of it.
Yeah.
You love the whole thing, and it's kind of ruining it for everybody. So the fans, the people that are kind of going crazy over this sort of stuff, reading into every single little story that is published, and, making it so much more than it is, that's the fucking problem, man, in my opinion. That coupled with the fact that these media outlets are desperately trying to get a fucking news story and clicks on their links on their article. And it's painful and it's annoying. And a prime example is yesterday. So yesterday when the news dropped that Matt Reeves dropped out of directing the Batman. Mm-hmm. Matt Reeves was never directing the Batman.
He was just in talks to direct.
He was
the
in
Batman.
talks, but every single thing that you saw was, bad news for, like, you know, the Batman. They need another director. They still needed a fucking director.
Yeah.
They were just in talks. And guess what happens all the time in Hollywood? Directors drop out of projects. Things happen. Scheduling conflicts. You know, maybe it is something about, like, you can't get your vision across to the studio or something like that. It might be conflicting ideas. It can be a number of different things, but it fucking happens all the time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. You're 100% correct.
In January, Anton Fuqua dropped out of directing the Scarface remake. But you didn't fucking hear shit about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there wasn't
I didn't even
DC.
know.
Well, there you go. See, but there wasn't, like, and that's a pretty big deal because a lot of people don't want a Scarface remake.
Yep.
But it didn't have DC attached to it, right? And because it didn't have DC attached to it, it's not news because they know that people like us will click on these links and buy into this shit. We're part of the problem. They're part of the problem too. That's what I'm saying right now. That's why I don't think it's completely fucked, but I have plenty of other things to say, but I've been talking for quite some time now. so someone else jump
You
in.
are passionate about this topic.
I am.
Yeah. No, I think you're right. I mean, you compare any other movie to a DC movie. Like, I'm not saying go compare a Marvel movie. I'll say go compare, like, the fucking Titanic. Go compare any other movie. You would not have had this controversy about any other movie but a DC movie these days.
Can I just say, somebody asked me on Twitter, has there been enough time for us to finally admit that the Titanic is a shit movie?
No.
Because I disagree. It's 20 years this
Yep.
year. It's its 20-year anniversary, and I'm going to go on the record as saying I fucking hated Titanic.
No.
There was room for two.
Yeah, there was room for
that
two.
made me sad.
My heart will not go on. I've had enough. No more Titanic. If I have to hear that Celine Dion song again, I'm going to shoot myself.
Unless it's in a Selena scene.
Exactly. But we're getting off topic.
Yeah. No, but like I said, you don't get this drama with any other movie franchise or you know, I guess universe.
Yeah.
You will never get it with the Marvel universe. I mean, that's been established for how long were we saying?
2008.
2008.
Yeah.
Fuck, that's a long time.
It is a long time.
But yeah. No other movie will get this trouble ever. It's just DC.
Well, see, you've got to be careful because it's not just DC. Because the Lego Batman movie just came out to rave reviews. So it's
but
not
that's a different demographic.
Yeah.
It is a different demographic, but it's not saying, like, Justice League Dark as well, you know, an animated movie also got pretty good reviews. Like, it's not saying that they're necessarily against DC, but you have to be careful, like, with that because there definitely seems to be issues with the DCEU.
Yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm talking about when I'm saying that demographic. I mean, as soon as you get a rewrite, you get reshoots.
Yeah.
It's like it's the end of the world, and like people probably don't realize this happens to every movie.
That's right.
Yes, well, we've spoken about this before. Doctor Strange went through rewrites.
Yeah.
They were in a post-production, and they went through rewrites.
Could you imagine if that happened on Batman? Say Batman's being done now,
Yeah.
and they're like, all right, it's going to be released. We're starting press in a month, and we've now rewritten everything.
Exactly.
The world would go mental. Batman's not going to be released. It's not happening anymore. Everyone's been fired.
Yeah. Ben Affleck's too fat to fit the bat suit, you know, all this sort of stuff. Like this is the kind of craziness because Doctor Strange went through rewrites like very late in the process, and people didn't really think too much about it, and that was a fucking great movie.
Yeah.
And then Rogue One, the same thing. They went through heavy reshoots and heavy editing, and a lot of stuff that you saw in the first trailer didn't even make the final cut. And that movie was excellent. So, you know, it doesn't because it happens so much, this is Hollywood, right? It happens all the time. But it's because they're pushing this DC negativity that, you know, because they know it's going to sell stories.
Yeah.
And it's as simple as that, in my opinion. But, you know, again, when I say we're part of the problem,
we're the consumer to these things.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you're not allowed to be a fanboy. I'm not saying you're not allowed to be vocal in your love and your nerddom for whatever you choose to like. But you have to be careful because this really should be just one whole big beautiful universe that we just love and cherish. And man, like there's just so much infighting. Can I tell you? Like I read something today that shit me to tears. This is not about fans. This is about the media.
Okay.
So Rotten Tomatoes, right? The editor-in-chief at Rotten Tomatoes, has amongst the DC fanboy universe, they fully believe that he has an agenda against the DCEU.
Yep.
I never really thought about it for a sec, but he used his review of Logan to talk about how you can do a dark comic book movie good, and the DCEU should take note, referencing Batman vs. Superman, which he is a very outspoken critic of. That's not helping anybody.
No.
That's just being a shithead.
That you are literally doing that for spite. Talk about Logan. Talk about the brilliance of Logan.
Yeah.
Talk about how great that is. Don't use it to potentially push this fucking agenda that you have against the DCEU. You know what I mean? It's just what is that? That is absolutely pointless, and it means fucking nothing.
That's exactly right.
Yeah. I mean, okay, let's look at it. The skepticism around Wonder Woman.
Yes.
I'm so excited for that movie.
I am so pumped for that movie. We've seen 1.5 trailers.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, come on. How are people writing this off as the worst movie?
See, this is what's disappointing. Because again, and maybe I should just get off the fucking internet for a while. Let's be honest.
Go dark.
We probably all should. But this is what's disappointing, because there was a comment that came up on the newsfeed or the timeline, whatever you call the Twitter thing, yesterday. And it's basically because of this whole Matt Reeves pulling out of talks to be a director, which is, again, fucking happens all the time.
Yeah.
This person in particular, they're like, I now have no faith in any of the movies coming out.
Why?
How does that relate, though?
Yeah, except for Aquaman. So Aquaman seems to be the only one. What have you seen?
What have you heard? There's been nothing shown for Aquaman.
Yeah, but what have you heard about Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
That is making you question why this movie would be bad. Because let me tell you, everything we've seen so far is great. The behind-the-scenes stuff that Patty Jenkins has shared seems like everybody is in love with this project.
Yeah.
So wherever all this negativity is coming from, I don't know. But man, that shit is disappointing, because that's a fan. And fans are being turned away from properties that could potentially be good. They're not even giving them a chance anymore because of what they're hearing constantly on the internet.
And that happens for more than, it's greater than the DCEU. That happens for so many things, and it drives me insane.
Oh, a perfect example was Ghostbusters.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Again, that's a whole nother can of worms.
Yeah.
That, we have discussed on the show before, but with that in particular, that was well and truly nobody gave that movie a shot. People were reviewing that movie on IMDb before the movie came out.
Yeah.
And they were giving it low scores and stuff like that without ever giving it the chance. And that's again why we're part of the problem, because we are the people that are doing that. Those scores on IMDb, not the Metacritic scores, but the actual the normal scores out of 10 that you see, that's from us. That's from people like us that review and rate these movies.
Yep.
And if you're going to be the type of person that jumps on and gives a movie 3 stars that you haven't even seen because of some shit that you've heard on the internet,
you need to go out and get a fucking life.
Yeah.
You need to check yourself.
Before you wreck yourself.
Okay,
Exactly.
so we're talking about DC, right?
Yeah.
What's all your opinions on the Flash controversy? I mean, we're getting complete rewrites. Everything's really up in the air about it at the moment. So, Amy, what do you see happening? What do you think needs to happen here?
They just need to make some decisions. Honestly, the thing is, I think if I was in their shoes and I'm producing a DC film, not that I would, but, and you have this stigma that we've been talking about, people are going to hate you or hate your film or hate your creation before you even have a chance to make it real.
Yeah.
They need to just have some balls, do something, get it done, and make the movie and not care so much.
Yeah.
Obviously you want to make money. That's,
Well, that's why everything gets made is money.
Yeah, but as a person on the other end who is going to watch that movie, and I hope to God that they make that movie because I will be devastated if they don't, I will go and see it regardless of what people rate it.
Yeah. That's interesting. You bring up that topic and it's like money. Money is the only reason these movies get made, and it's the only reason they're going to ever get made. Batman vs. Superman nearly pulled in $1 billion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Suicide Squad did 800 million.
800 million. I mean, sure, okay. A lot of people don't like these movies, but I mean, are they anything?
They've still gone to see it.
Yeah, gone to see it. A lot of people have gone to see it.
Yeah. But that speaks to the fan base as well, and it's a rabid fan base that wants this regardless of what happens, and they're going to go out and they're going to spend money on it because they want to see it, right? They want to see it. You have to, some of the blame does have to lie with Warner Brothers for sure, because from everything that we've heard, there has been a lot of interference.
Yes,
like when you're talking about going back to the Flash, the Flash lost 2 directors, so when the Flash lost Rick Famuyiwa. Right, he actually approached the studio with his vision, and they kind of turned it down.
Yep.
So and he was quite vocal about how much of a fan he was, and he was posting pictures of his collection of Flash comics that he's going through and pulling from source material and all that sort of stuff. He was very excited to work with Ezra Miller and all that sort of stuff. But because of these issues that he had with Warner Brothers themselves, that broke down.
It's hard. I mean, they're trying to establish their own universe here, obviously.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers obviously have a bigger picture in mind. They need a head honcho to overlook everything and take care of it. But that's Jeff Johns. That should be Jeff Johns doing this.
But is Jeff Johns doing the job that Jeff Johns is supposed to be doing?
Exactly.
Because
that's the question.
It doesn't seem like that would be the case just yet.
Or he hasn't got that power to do it.
Well, maybe that's it.
Like he oversees it and probably gives everything a green tick or not. But is there's no Kevin Feige.
Kevin
Feige.
Yeah. There's
Feige.
Yeah, there's no
we'll get it.
See, it's hard.
Kevin Feige over there. I mean, that's what needs to happen.
They need that counterpart. And that's what I'm saying. Like when they need to make these decisions, they need to just put someone in charge. Just do it.
Well, this goes back, I just want to touch on something Amy said just before. In regards to, I'll elaborate on it anyway. So in regards to all this negative criticism, you're going to have a whole bunch of directors that aren't going to want to touch these projects.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Right? So you're going to have these maybe even these younger up and coming guys that are that are potentially given this opportunity, and they're like, you know what? I can't fucking take the criticism.
That's right.
I do not want to deal with what I will have to see on the internet every day of my life. You want to know why Ben Affleck probably stepped down from being director of the Batman? Because people wouldn't stop questioning him about it every single time. And they know because people are questioning the questioners.
Yeah.
They're saying, find out what's happening. Give us some more information. We want to know what's happening with the Batman.
Well, he cracked the shits on Jimmy Kimmel Live, didn't he?
I don't know if it was Jimmy Kimmel, but he did. He kind of said, I'm kind of over talking about it.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. This is it. And then yes, it was weeks after that he actually did step down as director.
Well, there's a point. Everyone has that point where they're like, you know what? Fuck this.
Well,
I'm out.
You imagine someone like Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
he's too fat for the suit, but he's got some mean ass flex.
Yeah, he's got some mean buns.
That guy, he's a real passion project kind of guy.
Yeah,
he busted his. I can't. You know what? I'm terrible. I can't even remember the movie that he's just done. It was a big passion project for him.
The Accountant?
Live by Night.
Oh.
Live by Night?
Yeah.
No one's
That's
asking
close.
anything about it.
Yeah.
And I mean, what's that do to a guy who's like, well, fuck. My real work means nothing.
Yeah.
Not to say the Batman won't be real work, but he's like, no one cares about me.
Yeah.
They just care about this.
This part of me.
Yeah.
I'm not here to talk about the Batman.
Exactly.
I'm here to promote this parent shit heap of a movie, Live by Night.
Yeah.
But
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's not
and
great.
that makes me sad because, like you're saying,
Yep.
all that I know about is the Batman.
Exactly.
I'm one of those people.
So I'm genuinely worried about it now because I feel like he's getting swallowed up in this role that he obviously doesn't want to be just known for.
yeah, and this is where it's getting to the point because these rumors is now starting to surface as well that he wants to step away from the role of the Batman, and that's sad because this is a situation where we've got a guy who is, in my opinion, I've said it on record plenty of times before, the best live action Batman that we've had.
It's undeniable.
And for all the criticism that Batman vs. Superman got, you had to really look hard to find criticism aimed towards Ben Affleck's performance as Batman and Bruce Wayne. Right? So, this is a situation where people actually love him, but are we loving him to death?
Maybe.
You know what I mean?
I think that's it. I think that's it.
is it? Are we killing him with
softly with our song?
Yeah, with our screams of fucking "Where is the Batman?"
Yeah.
So that's it's another thing that like we have the power is kind of what I'm getting at. Is the DCEU fucked? No, we have the power to bring positivity to these things, to stop clicking on the clickbait articles, to stop pushing clickbait articles, to stop, like hammering people because they like DC movies, to stop hammering people because they like Marvel movies. It's superhero movies, man. Superhero movies, motherfucker.
Everyone just needs to watch the scene out of Mean Girls where the woman gets up on stage and just asks everyone to get along. Because we're all rainbows and sunshine or whatever. That's what everyone needs to watch. They need to watch that instead of clicking on these stupid articles that mean nothing.
Just be a fucking rainbow.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody.
I just want to touch on the subject of clickbait.
Yeah.
I reckon it might have been in the last week, maybe 2, I saw an article that says, confirmed, Cyborg is a mother box.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. It's like, no fucking duh. You can see it right there in the movie. It attaches to his body.
It's like a zoom in of it.
Yeah.
That is not hidden. That's not like, something that needs to be brought out. What was the other one? There was another one. It was Doctor Strange, confirmed. Doctor Strange to appear in Thor Ragnarok.
Isn't that
no
super
shit.
old?
No shit.
You saw it in the fucking end credit scene.
These are the people that don't wait.
Look,
they're not the true fans.
There's 2 major comic book movie sites out there.
Yep.
It's these ones that are covering these stories like that.
Yeah, look, it's not just those 2.
It's
because
not.
I see it from a lot of different things. But where you've got to be careful is where are you getting your information from? How well do you know the sources that The Wrap have? Or how well do you know the sources that The Hollywood Reporter has? Or, how well do you know the sources that jimscomics.com.au,
it's Jim. Jim, my mate.
Do you know what I mean? Like fucking, we really have no idea.
Yeah.
So they could be selling us a whole bunch of shit and we would never fucking know.
Oh, mate, you jump onto the articles and you read them. It's like it's written by a 12-year-old.
Sometimes.
With almost English as a second language. It's that bad.
Well, we're not going to call anybody out specifically, right? But there are dead set. There are certain publications. Do you call them publications?
Outlets.
Yeah. There are certain media outlets that are definitely pushing the clickbait, and that has to stop. Right? It has to stop.
Stop it now.
Because if it doesn't, the DC universe will fold. Because nobody will want to take a part of it.
Exactly.
Like when you're talking about like when you're talking about this whole Matt Reeves stepping away from the Batman and all that sort of stuff, I read plenty of articles. It took me ages to find one, and I will call this person out. It was The Variety, right? So I can't remember the dude's name, but it was The Variety. And he was whoever wrote that article was the first person that I actually saw try to put a positive spin on it.
Yep.
By saying that sources are saying that, if everything cools off, he may still come back to direct. Like it's not completely over.
Yep.
It's just there are problems right now.
Yep.
No one is actually saying what those problems are. They're not necessarily saying that Matt Reeves, has this vision that Warner Brothers is saying, nah, fuck that, we hate it. Right? From all reports, it's as simple as something as scheduling conflicts.
Could be.
Right? But this was the first article that I saw that tried to put a little bit of a positive spin on it. And that's disturbing because we're supposed to be the fans.
Yep.
One out of how many? Like 20
One out
million.
of I probably read 20 different things yesterday.
Crazy.
And it took me, I probably went through 3/4 of those before I found one that actually had a bit of a positive spin.
It's disheartening
All
is
right.
what it is.
Let me ask this question, and give me a real brief answer.
Okay.
Sure.
Troy, in your opinion, is the DCEU fucked?
No. But it can be. And that's the problem.
Yep.
So we've got to be careful.
Yep. Amy?
For me, no. And as a person, I will watch every single DC movie that comes out, regardless of what people say about it. But I agree with Troy that if it's the same as any world, if something or some person is belittled or berated so much, that stigma stays with them.
Yep.
So it can fold if these news outlets or whatever keep pushing this sort of spin on things, anybody would break and fold and just shrivel up and disappear.
What about you?
I don't think it's fucked, but I think it's treading the line. And it's not through any fault of like bad movies or anything like that. It's just the circumstances around it.
Yeah. The only thing I want to touch on before we go is, I need to be very clear in the fact that, and I've said it a million times on this podcast, so if you haven't heard it before, I'm sorry, but here it is again. Like, we are not pro DC. We are not pro Marvel. We are pro superhero movies, right?
Yep.
So this is not pushing some sort of DC agenda. So please don't hit me up on Twitter telling me I'm pushing some DC agenda.
You're on Marvel's payroll.
Fight
DC's payroll.
I will fight you. But it's not about that, right? Marvel makes some tremendously good movies, but Marvel movies have some problems.
Yeah.
DC movies they've made some good movies, but they've had some problems. It's as simple as that.
Then
Marvel's been doing it for a hell of a long time.
None of them are going to make their version of Forrest Gump the perfect movie.
Oh,
No,
man.
fuck off.
That's the best film.
Has it been long enough for us to admit that Forrest Gump is a shit movie?
Why are we doing this to my... This is hurting my soul. Titanic, Forrest Gump.
I was never a fan of Forrest Gump.
My
I'll be honest
husband
with
will literally gutter stomp you.
I'll be with him doing it too.
Anyway. We'll put a warning over that. But yeah, so I just wanted to mention that this is we love all of this stuff, right? This is passion coming from somewhere where we're concerned about a project that we probably should all be fucking excited about.
Yeah.
And this is the problem, man. We all need to just be loving this shit, but loving it in a nice way, not loving it like Ben Affleck, where the fuck is my Batman movie? Or
Standing at his door, just like...
You can't, yes, so Batman vs. Superman had some issues, but you can't then just lambast Zack Snyder for everything he's ever going to do.
Yep.
Right? I still stay on the record as saying Man of Steel, which a lot of people forget, is the movie that kicked off this universe, right? That movie stands, in my mind, as a top-notch comic book movie.
Fucking fantastic.
Visually beautiful. Problems with the story, sure, but it is an amazing, amazing Superman movie. I know I'll get some shit for that, but...
Fuck it, you're right.
Fuck a critic.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, that's all I got. It's not fucked.
I think we've been real.
You're fucked. I'm pointing at Kate, by the way.
Not me, because I'm amazing.
Yeah, Amy's all right. And that is going to take us to Comic of the Week, Cade's favorite section. It's such a favorite section of his now. He's decided to just, off the top of... He was never forced into this whatsoever, but he has decided to take on Comic of the Week for this week. And we're bringing Kingdom Come, which was suggested by Rock51 Rob on Twitter. So thank you for that suggestion, my friend. Cade? Kingdom Come.
Kingdom Come.
What'd you think?
Not bad.
Yeah?
Not bad. I mean, it's a very unique story. So basically, I'll give you a little rundown. I know you've read it, but I'll let the people at home know. And basically, the current age of superheroes are running rampant, and your classic people from your Justice League, they're all retired. And boy, do they do a really great representation of everyone. Like Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash. The Flash, man, the way he's represented in this is really unique. I've never seen it before. It's almost like he's existing on all planes of life at one point in time.
Yeah.
And you'd never see the Flash represented that way. It's like he's in constant movement, constant super speed.
Yeah.
Fantastic. But basically, they're going up against a new world of heroes.
Yeah.
All these modern day heroes they're just reckless.
They're millennials, man.
They're millennials. That's exactly it. They're millennials. They're out of control.
Yeah.
And they're just kind of, there's no respect for humankind, I guess. Or, I guess it's life.
Yeah, they're kind of just out, running around and they're fighting crime.
They're killing 20 civilians while they're doing it.
They just don't give a shit about the collateral damage. They've lost all, sort of sense of, we're here to protect humanity. It's kind of like, no, we're just here to stop the bad guys. We're the good guys, damn it. Yeah. We're here to stop the bad guys.
At any means possible.
Yeah.
And, of course, the Justice League don't like that. Well, mostly Superman doesn't like it.
Yeah.
And the reason he left, I guess, society was weak, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because who is the guy? Is Mogog.
Is it?
I think so.
Oh, Magog.
Magog.
Yeah.
Magog. MacGyver.
Yeah, I think it's MacGyver.
Yeah, MacGyver. Basically, he's a Roman god-looking type of person. and just says to Superman, hey, do you want to have like a little fisticuff over who should be the hero of Metropolis?
Yeah.
Superman's like, you know what, man? If you want this shit, it's yours. I'm out of here.
I'm done, son.
And goes back to Kansas.
He's just like, you know what? Yeah, nah.
Yeah.
Just take it, man.
Yeah, it's yours.
I can't be fucked.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's not Superman.
Well, you know,
like Superman would have reasoned. He would have worked with the guy.
yeah. I think it was probably a little bit deeper than just, hey, you want to fight? Nah, I'm out. But I see where you're coming from.
It's not really portrayed in any other way.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, there should have been something there because, like, when they reference MacGyver, it's always like, oh, there's history there, there's beef.
Yeah, yeah.
And when they actually show what it wasn't anything.
Well, was it a sense of like, I know that this guy will stop at nothing. So I know that this guy will do absolutely whatever is necessary, no matter what the harm to anybody else, to win this fight. So I'm going to step away from it in an effort to actually save people.
It could be that.
You know what I mean?
And I mean,
that's actually the most heroic thing to do, is to walk away from a fist fight, you guys.
That's what the bigger man does.
Exactly.
But yeah, great representation of Princess Diana.
Yeah.
Princess Diana.
Princess Diana.
What am I thinking? Well, I guess
Diana
it's right.
Prince.
Diana Prince, yeah. Ruthless.
Yeah.
As always.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how Wonder Woman should be.
Yeah.
But I think they almost took it a little bit too far, in the sense that she's just prepared to kill good guys who are fighting the fight in their own way.
Yeah. It's an extreme sort of, like an extreme method, but that's she's kind of always
She's a warrior.
She's a warrior, yeah.
Yeah.
She don't give a fuck.
She doesn't give a fuck.
She will fight the shit out of you.
Don't know where I stand with Batman.
See, I liked this. I liked the representation of old man Batman. Like, he was fucked up. Like, he had to have...
He had like a mechanical suit assisting him.
Exactly, because it was to the point where he had been through so much shit, and it really represents his humanity in a world of super beings. It's kind of like, this is the real world, the real world repercussions of a life of vigilantism. And I think that was done really well, and to have him represented like that, but still well in control of his city, right? Sort of more behind the keyboard, with the what were they called?
Batbots?
Batbots or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah. And, he's well and truly got Gotham kind of under lockdown, but, it's well and truly still the only city unaffected
by heroes.
By everything else. I did really appreciate that.
Green Lantern.
Yeah.
God damn. Totally kick ass in this.
Yeah.
Builds his own fucking space station from his ring.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
From his ring.
But fantastic.
Yeah.
And like, he's just so a background player in this. I don't even think he has a line of dialogue.
I can't remember it well enough to know that type of detail. But
I only read it the other day. I don't think he even speaks in this.
Yeah.
But God, he has some authority for someone who doesn't say a word.
Yeah, but he's kind of just sitting up there.
Up in space, just waiting for space attacks.
Yeah. Space attacks.
That's what it says.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's true.
That's great.
Oh, man. Look, this whole thing, like, you can talk about Mark Waid's writing, and Mark Waid's writing is phenomenal, but talk about Alex Ross's artwork.
Oh, mate.
For a second.
Fantastic.
It is drool-worthy.
It's almost like he had a watercolor palette with him this whole time.
Oh.
Like, it was a really unique take on, like, comic book artwork.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed it. Like, there was just something about it. It's so different. It's so unique. It's fantastic.
Well, he brings a sense of realism to his artwork. Like, we're talking about, old man Superman, and we're talking about, old man Batman and all that sort of stuff, and everybody's aged, but the way he portrays, like, I think there's a double page spread, and it might even be the cover of like the complete collection, and it kind of folds out, and it's the whole group of like old age heroes.
Yeah.
And that in itself is just, it's like a masterpiece.
It's fantastic.
Not everybody likes that style, but for me, with this story, when we're talking about, these heroes that have kind of eventually, they've decided to step away.
Yeah. Yeah, the artwork won't suit any other comic where it's a lot of action.
Yeah.
Because in reality, there's not a lot of action in this comic in the sense of big battles, lots of fisticuffs.
Yeah.
It's a lot of I guess it's more story driven. It's more dialogue. I mean, you got the Spectre giving you a rundown of everything that's
basically
happening.
telling the story as it goes.
Yeah.
And it's kind of it's kind of the convincing of people, I think, led by Wonder Woman, was it? To actually come back and join the fight. And so she's the one, I think, that actually goes to Kansas.
Yes.
If I remember correctly.
Yep.
She's the one that heads to Kansas to try to convince Superman that it's time to come back.
Oh, yep.
And, it's a lot of that more character-driven sort of stuff. But I rate this comic very... Well, yeah, can't even call it a comic. It's beyond a comic.
It's like a novel.
It is technically... It could be a graphic novel.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the way it's done is just... It's awesome. One of my favorites.
Yeah, it's really good. I do recommend checking it out. The only thing that I did not like, and this is going to be a bit of a spoiler, is the way that all the bad guys... Oh, they're not bad guys. The new heroes are represented.
Yeah.
And they're just removed.
Yeah.
Instantly.
There's no real kind of...
There's no threat.
Well, but it's also, there's no trying to turn them around.
Exactly.
There's no... It's like there's no comeback from this.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you just got arrogant. You just got like a little bit out of control. Can we bring you back to humanity?
And that's it.
No.
And I mean, we only ever really hear about one new hero. And he wants to die.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was almost the center point of the whole story.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, and we're talking about MacGyver.
Yeah.
And he's just like, just kill me, Superman. You're right.
Yeah.
I'm a fuckhead.
Yeah. Typical MacGyver.
Shazam, Ultimate Sacrifice.
Yep.
Damn.
Spoilers.
Ultimate Sacrifice.
I do like the way all the major characters were represented, though.
Yeah.
I think it was done really well.
I liked him being brainwashed. Fantastic.
Yeah. That was good, actually. The way that was done was really... It's kind of like, because this is it's hard because he's like the ultimate Boy Scout. Like Superman's the Boy Scout, but this kid is almost technically a boy. But I think they portrayed him as like he can't go back to his child form. Is that right?
No, he's just grown up.
He's just an adult now in the Shazam body. So it's not like he doesn't turn back into little Billy Batson.
Yeah, he gets his jam on.
Yeah. Pretty
basically.
much. Yeah, pretty much. So, but it's easier to see why he could still technically be turned.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Rate it. Check it out.
Yeah, for sure. If you're wondering why Amy's been pretty quiet, it's because she is no longer with us.
No.
She hasn't passed away. She has had to leave. She's had to leave the studio. There's been some... She's got a family barbecue or something that she has to get to. This is the birthday spectacular, so it's running longer than it normally would. So she's had to...
Troy's line, there was a nugget sale. Amy bailed.
She's gone to be the middleman in the nugget war between McDonald's and KFC.
Yeah.
So she's going to go get both. She's going to test them out. And she's going to let you guys know who the winner is.
Do you know how, like, when you have a party or something, sometimes you buy 2 different flavors of chips and you mix them together in, like, a bigger bowl?
I love that.
Yeah, because you never know what you're going to get.
Exactly.
Imagine, like, getting 2 different types of chicken nuggets.
I think they all pretty much taste the same, let's be honest.
No way.
Anyway, that's it, man.
That is it.
That's the birthday spectacular.
Oh, by the way, this is our last episode ever. We're only doing it for a year.
Yeah. See you guys. Nah, we're still here. No, Cade's gone. Look, there will very likely be some changes in the very near future. We are currently in discussions about a whole bunch of different things and what we can do with the show in the next 52 weeks.
Yeah.
The new 52.
The new 52 shows.
As it were. So expect some changes, perhaps. Maybe not. Who knows? We're very unpredictable when it comes to that.
You know how you can actually have a say?
In
the listener community.
Yay! The listener community. So that's Comic Confidential listener community.
On Facebook.
Join that group.
It's the best thing you can do. You're hanging out with fucking good people.
Yep.
Knowledgeable people.
Knowledgeable as fuck. I would 100% definitely say more knowledgeable than the two of us.
Put together.
Times
3.
By far. Yeah, but there are a whole bunch of cool people. We're also in there.
Yeah.
So we like to get involved. And this is the thing that, that we love is we love to be able to do this show and bring it to you guys every week. But we love to be able to talk to you guys about shit that you like, whether it's pop culture or, whatever it is. We like to interact with you guys as much as we possibly can, whether it's on Facebook, the listener community, Twitter. We're all for it, man.
That's it.
So hit us up.
That's what separates us, mate.
That's what separates us from the people that don't do that.
That's right.
Yeah. So anyway, so that's it for this week. We'll be back next week. But will we? Yes. But how? Who knows? You want to thank some people?
Yeah. We'd like to thank the listeners, the subscribers, and the reviewers. You guys make a huge difference. You guys have been bumping us into the top 20 lately.
Twice this week.
Twice this week.
What? That's
pretty much unheard of for this type of podcast.
Yeah, look, by which he means awesome.
Yes. it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's awe-inspiring.
It is. Two things help the show, and this is the part where we kind of basically get on our knees and beg you for some stuff. But look, two things really help the show. One is reviews, for sure. If you haven't reviewed the show, please jump on iTunes and hit us up with a review. The other is subscriptions on iTunes, man.
Just subscribe.
If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you know some people that would be interested in this type of shit, get them to subscribe.
Yeah, tell them about us.
Steal their fucking phones and hit subscribe on it. You do
they
what
will.
you have
They will
to do.
thank you for it.
They will eventually. Might take them a while. Maybe don't get them to start all the way back at episode 1.
Start there. Best thing.
Best thing you can do. Make sure you follow us on Facebook at Comic Confidential Podcast or the Comic Confidential listener community, Twitter and Instagram at Comic Con Pod, and across all formats. We like to get involved, so
pretty much
get into it.
There's also YouTube. You can jump on there, subscribe if you want to listen to the show that way.
Yeah,
we also put it on there.
We do.
Some people like it.
Yeah, some like it.
Yeah, we've got some messages saying, "Hey, I like your YouTube
videos." We have a Snapchat as well, which is out there.
That's a good way to communicate to us as well.
It is.
Jump on there. That's Comic Con Pod.
Yep,
that's a username. We've also got a website. You can jump on there. Get some really, really detailed comic breakdowns by Troy.
Yeah, sort of.
They're like essays, guys. I don't know how he finds the time in his week to do it. On top of watching the 40 other shows.
Well, it just comes to me, man.
Does it?
Yeah. I just sit in front of the computer and just let my hands go.
You're acting like you type with all your fingers, but I know you type with 2.
Yeah, but I type really fast with 2.
Yeah.
So it's more like this. Yeah, you're right. You're right. You caught me out. Damn it. Now everyone thinks I'm a shit typer. Fantastic. We have a Patreon as well, which we are kind of in the middle of reviewing and changing and doing some things to.
Tweaking it to make it better for you.
Yeah. And the best thing about that is it starts from $1 a month, and that can get you early access, unless we have weeks like this where, stuff goes wrong. And we don't actually get to record until the Sunday. But it has been happening a lot. Cade's been working his butt off. He's got no butt
It's
no
gone.
more.
I can't sit down no more.
He's standing right now. To make sure that he gets the episodes out up to at least a day early.
At least. Sometimes 2.
Yeah, sometimes, which is great. And don't forget the sweet-ass deal that we have for you guys over at Comic Blitz. 3 months of comics, $1 a month. It's amazing. Plenty of good titles, heaps of shit, and some really fun times.
It's the best times.
Comic Blitz and chill.
Comic Blitz and chill.
Damn it.
There's also the Castaway Awards. If you guys really, really want to support the show and you've done everything else and you're like, hey, how can I help the show just that little bit more?
Yeah.
Vote for us. Help us win the popular vote.
There's 2 votes. So one is voted by judges, which is in our own category, TV and movie. So that's closed. So they are currently in the process of judging that. We might win. You don't know.
We are literally going up against some of the biggest podcasts in the country.
And then there is the People's Choice Awards, which are still open, which you can vote for. And remember, if you were listening to us earlier in the show, we said if we can hit that top 10, we're only at 11 at the moment. We were just in the top 10. If we can get back in that top 10, stay there and finish in the top 10, we will do another giveaway. Speaking of giveaways, Don't forget, we're also doing 2 giveaways.
3.
3 technically. 1 for the Comic Confidential listener community specifically. So if you're not a part of that, get in and be a part of that.
It's Deadpool 1.
Deadpool 1 to something.
Yeah.
Is it? I think it covers a few, doesn't it?
1 to 10 maybe?
1 to 10.
But
Anyway.
it's a book.
It's a book. You'll get a book with pictures in it. I think they're called comics. We will have a better description of that in the actual listener community. We'll pin that somewhere as well. And then we've also got the Old Man Logan collection, and for the Marvel fans, we've got the DC Funko Pop Batman for the DC fans.
Yeah.
And that will be pinned to our Facebook page, Comic Confidential, so check that out.
And guess what?
What?
If you like all of them, just enter all the competitions.
Oh, yeah, by the way, you can enter every single one. There is absolutely no reason why you can't do all 3.
Imagine that. Imagine that.
Imagine you won all 3, you guys. That could happen.
It actually could.
Well, because it's going to be drawn randomly. So that could well and truly happen. Anyway.
Crazy.
That's it.
That is it.
1 year. Done. Thanks for listening, you guys. As always, I'm Troy.
I'm Cade. And Amy was here.
Amy was here, so she would most definitely say goodbye to you guys. And this has been Comic Confidential.
Cheers.
Peace. Amy's thing. Whatever she normally says.
Bye.
Bye.
Is that what she says?
Ah, man, I don't know.
You know what I'm thinking?
Mm-hmm. I do know what you're thinking.
I'm thinking we get a new intro song. Let's get a theme.
Ooh, no. Actually, you know what I thought? Because I like the theme that we've got. It's like, it's our thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Let's Be Real needs a theme song.
You reckon?
Yeah. Let's just think of some stuff. Let's be real. Let's be real.
Fucking real.
Yeah. We'll be the realest motherfuckers on the air.
No, but seriously.
Yeah. I think Let's Be Real needs a theme song.
If anyone's out there and can do stuff like that.
If you can come up with songs better than we can, which is very, very easy, mind you, let us know.
Yeah.
If you're still listening, because this is well past the time that it's done.
And if you also just maybe if you got the time, throw us a new intro one.
Yeah, well, look, we'll have a listen to it for sure.
Troy, just be open.
I'm open. I'm as open as I can be. Don't make it weird, man.
You made it weird.
Your face is weird. You got something to say?